Okay, so let's actually show you why Xp3 is superior to other products on the market and some of the properties involved with it. This will actually help prove to you that the product will do what we say it does and that other products don't do what they say they do. So I've got a sample of products here, and I won't name any of them specifically because I'm not simply trying to discredit another product for my own gain. But I do think it helps people to see a general comparison of products to better understand why Xp3 is superior and why other products don't always live up to their claims. So I'm going to just use a couple of these products to do a side-by-side demonstration. My guess is that if you've ever used any of these products, you didn't see the results you expected when you purchased the product. Now I'm also going to show you the basic properties of straight number 2 diesel fuel that I've gotten from a random filling station, and how Xp3 can clean up the pollution that it creates. Furthermore, I'm going to show you how Xp3 actually removes water that can contaminate fuel and compare to other products that cannot possibly remove the water even though they claim to. Now, 2 of the products I have here are among the more popular products used to prevent diesel fuel from gelling in colder temperatures or boosting engine performance or cleaning a fuel injection system. Now, these can be found at just about any automotive supply store, gas station, or truck stop. They make big claims, but I'll show that they simply cannot perform as well as Xp3. Now, I have some of these products here in these 2 vials. I got a product number 1, product number 2. In this vial, I have some diesel number 2, just a standard diesel number 2, and in this vial is some Xp3. Now, one of the key performance claims that we make about Xp3 is that it helps reduce pollution and emissions by as much as 60%. Now, if we're going to make a claim like that, the product certainly cannot add any pollution to what is already being generated when the fuel is burning. So let me first show you the pollution generated by diesel fuel and these other products. So first I'll burn the diesel fuel. Now, as you'll see, and to no surprise, there's a lot of smoke and soot coming from burning the fuel. This is pretty common. We see it all the time in the smokestacks of trucks and buses and things like that. Furthermore, I'm going to show you on the close-up camera here that there's quite a bit of carbon residue left over on the Q-tip from burning the fuel. Now, I'll show you product number 1 here, and it's going to be very similar. Now, these other products, they claim to clean up an engine's fuel system, and I think it's challenging to see how that could actually be, because you could see all the smoke and soot, and under the close-up camera you can see a lot of the residue left behind. That's what's being left behind in the engine as well, so not exactly sure how it can clean the fuel system. Same thing with product number 2. Again, a lot of smoke and soot coming off of that. It's very visible. And again, plenty of residue left behind. Now, in comparison, you're going to see that Xp3 burns very clean, almost like natural gas. There's no smoke or soot coming off of that. And as you can see in the close-up camera, that it does not leave any residue behind either. The Q-tip is clean white like it was before. So it begs the question, do you think a clean engine will perform better than a dirty engine? Now, the answer should be obvious. I think most of us would rather have a clean engine running all the time. It's going to perform the best, and it's going to pollute the least. Now, another very common problem with fuel that I may have mentioned before is that it is often contaminated with water. When water gets into fuel and goes through the combustion process, it is not good for the immediate performance or for the long-term health of the engine. Water is corrosive to an engine, and because it cannot burn, the fuel does not burn as efficiently during the combustion process. Now, this causes a reduction in power, which in turn causes the driver to give the engine more fuel, which decreases the fuel economy and increases expenses. It's a very vicious cycle, especially for a large fleet. So let me show you the effects of water in the fuel and how Xp3 actually breaks up water molecules and separates them into individual hydrogen and oxygen molecules that can pass through the fuel system without negative side effects and can actually burn to increase the combustion performance. I'll also show you how these other products claim to remove water, but they actually don't. So what I'll do is I'll add just a little bit of water to each of these vials. Add it to the diesel number 2. Add some to the Xp3. I'll even add a little bit more just to show you the power. Add a little to product number 2 and to product number 1. Okay. So what you should see in the close-up camera is that the water went straight to the bottom and separated from the diesel number 2 and products number 1 and 2. Whereas with Xp3, the water instantly dispersed through the substance. And again, the reason for that is that the Xp3 has broken up the water molecules and separated the hydrogen from the oxygen. Now the reason that these other products separate from the water instantly is because they are petroleum-based formulas. Oil and water simply do not mix. I believe most of us learned that in grade school science. And when water sits in a fuel tank in a similar fashion to this, it can create an environment for growth of algae and other microorganisms that can get into the fuel system and filters, causing all sorts of problems. In addition, water will often still get through the fuel system because while a vehicle is moving, the water doesn't always just stay at the bottom of the tank. When filters and water separators have to work to take care of the water, you also have additional maintenance needs and costs, as well as downtime. So let me show you the visible effects of water, in the combustion process. And to do that, we're just going to burn these again and show you how the effects of the water have on the burn. Now what you're going to hear is that sparkling. It's almost like a sparkler on the 4th of July, the crackling and popping. That's trying to burn the water through the fuel. Now again, with product number 2, hear a similar cracking and popping, not as much. And with the product number 1, should also hear similar sound as well. Again, not as much as with the diesel fuel. But now, look at Xp3 as it burns. It's going to burn very clean and very efficiently because it has taken the water out of the system. It's burning very clean. Now this actually helps an engine get more miles from a tank of fuel when Xp3 is used. And you can see again the comparison of the burns in Xp3 to the other products, to the petroleum-based products. Now you may still be skeptical, but to further prove that Xp3 has completely broken up the water in the substance, I'm going to use some water finding paste. And it'll show you that the water is completely gone. Now the paste is gold colored. And what happens is that when it comes in contact with water, it turns red instantly. So I'm just going to drop some into each of these tubes. I'll drop it in product number 2 and number 1. And finally I'll drop it into the Xp3. Now what you should see on the close-up camera is that those turned red pretty quickly on the other products because the water is at the bottom. But on the diesel or on the Xp3, you're going to see that it does not change. Let me pull these out so you can see in the close-up camera as well that those definitely turned red. That's product number 1 and number 2. And then here's Xp3, and there's the diesel fuel with the water in it. You can see that it stayed gold in comparison to the red. The final thing I want to show you at this point is how Xp3 can actually clean up the pollution of these petroleum substances. So I will add some Xp3 to each of the vials. not only will it remove the water that's in there, but it's also going to deal with the contamination of the water finding paste, that's residue that's in there. And that'll show you how it actually can help remove any other mineral contamination as well. So we're just going to give these a quick little shake. Let the Xp3 work its way through the whole vial. You can see that the residue has gone away from the water finding paste. And it's become a single homogeneous substance or liquid. You can see that the water is no longer separated in the bottom because it has been dispersed. It's been completely dispersed. What you can't see is that the Xp3 is also going through and modifying and actually altering the micron size of the petroleum molecules, which will actually allow them to burn cleaner and more efficiently. So let's just burn each of these again here. We'll show you the difference compared to the first time we burned them. You can see how much better, and now there is some smoke and soot, and then like I said, Xp3 is only going to clean up to 60% of the pollution, but there's your first burn comparison. Definitely a cleaner appearance there. Here's your product number 1. And notice that the crackling and popping from the water is gone because the water has been removed. Again, some smoke and residue is going to come off of that, but look at the comparison in the Q-tips again. It's cleaned it up incredibly. And finally, I'll show you the product number 2. And again, it burns much cleaner and more efficiently now with the Xp3 in it. And here again, you can see the definite comparison in the Q-tips. So I hope what I've shown you here has been very intriguing. If you're currently using any fuel treatment product, I would be glad to do a comparison of that product for you using this demonstration process. If there is another product out there that can outperform Xp3, I would definitely like to know about it. I greatly appreciate you taking the time to watch this video and learn more about Xp3. If you want to make a difference at your company or business to reduce expenses, reduce downtime, and reduce emissions caused by your fleet, then I strongly encourage you to contact me at 320-291-7476 or visit my business website for additional information at www.xp3distributing.com. Have a great day, and I hope to talk with you very soon.